Are you Nigerians crazy? Selling one mango for the price of 10? The fierce argument in the high-end fruit shop in Dubai could be heard from the street. Sir, if you feel it's too expensive, you don't have to buy it, the shopkeeper said calmly. I'm going to fly there myself and see what kind of mango is worth this price. No one could have predicted that this outburst would, 3 weeks later, completely revolutionize the Middle East's perception of Nigerian produce. The wealthy Emirati who slammed his hand on the counter actually booked a flight. He really did fly to Nigeria. And the look on his face as he took his first bite in a mango orchard in Oyo State was later captured in a photograph that went viral across the entire Arab world. The man's name was Ali, a well-known importer in Dubai. His family had been in the fruit business for 3 generations, and he had grown up surrounded by produce. He prided himself on having tasted every fruit imaginable: Persian melons, Egyptian dates, Thai mangosteens, and Philippine pineapples. When it came to mangoes alone, he had sampled varieties from at least 20 different countries. But in April of that year, his purchasing manager suddenly informed him that a Nigerian supplier had entered the Middle Eastern market. The price quote made him jump out of his chair. A 10-kilogram box of mangoes was priced at an astonishing 2,000 dirhams. Ali burst out laughing. Indian mangoes are 200 dirhams a box. Thai ones are only 300. Where on earth is Nigeria? Are they growing these things with gold? The purchasing manager spread the quotation sheet on the table. In bold letters, it read, Oyo State Adebayo Supreme Mangoes. Ali shook his head. Oyo State? I've never even heard of it. Isn't Nigeria just some chaotic country in Africa? I remember its entire agricultural output is less than our Emirates. What gives them the right to charge such a price? This reaction was, in fact, quite normal. In the minds of many Middle Eastern businessmen, African nations were often synonymous with underdeveloped, cheap, labor-intensive industries. Their image of Nigeria was probably one of sprawling, chaotic cities and subsistence farming. As for its agriculture, wasn't it a traditional industry relying on cheap labor in the fields? How could they possibly sell fruit at a price higher than European imports? But Ali had one defining characteristic. He was fiercely protective of his reputation. In Dubai's business circles, he was a renowned fruit expert, often commenting on the quality of various fruits at social gatherings. After news of the Nigerian supplier's quotation spread, his friends began to tease him. Ali, I hear someone's trying to sell you heavenly priced mangoes. Are they taking you for a fool? These words reached Ali's ears, and he boiled with rage. Fine, I don't believe it. That evening, he called the Nigerian supplier. You're so confident, are you? Then I'll fly over myself to have a look. If your mangoes are really worth this price, I'll place an order immediately. But if they're just ordinary goods, don't blame me for telling everyone in the Middle East that you're frauds. The supplier, on the Nigerian end, was a young man in his early 30s named Adebayo, the 3rd generation to manage his family's orchard in Oyo State. When he received Ali's call, he was in the orchard overseeing the installation of a new irrigation sensor. Hearing that the buyer wanted to fly over personally, he wasn't the least bit nervous. Instead, he chuckled and said, You are most welcome. Our farm is always open for visits. But I must warn you, the weather here is quite warm. You should prepare for it. After hanging up, Ali immediately began arranging his trip. He brought his 2 most trusted assistants, one to take photos, the other to take notes. I want to document the entire visit. Let's see what these Nigerians are really up to. He even posted on his social media, off to the mysterious land of Nigeria to uncover the secret of the sky-high mangoes. Get ready for a show, everyone. This post immediately caused a stir in Dubai's business community. The comments were filled with people betting on whether Ali would be embarrassed. Some said the Nigerian farmers must be so nervous they couldn't sleep. But in reality, no one in Oyo State was worried. Mr. Adebayo went about his business as usual, only casually mentioning to his staff, We have some friends from abroad visiting next week. Just carry on with your normal work. No special preparations are needed. This calm demeanor reflected a core characteristic of Nigeria's agricultural evolution. Many foreigners assumed Nigerian agriculture was based on cheap labor, but in reality, Its precision agriculture sector had long been on a path of technology and quality. Take mangoes, for instance. From variety improvement, soil management, and pest control, to harvesting time, packaging, and shipping, every step followed a strict, standardized operational procedure. As Ali boarded the plane at Dubai International Airport, he was still plotting his exposé. After takeoff, he opened his laptop and began to do his homework, searching for information about Nigeria. He was shocked by what he found. Nigeria's tech sector was booming, with Lagos being called the Silicon Lagoon. Its film industry, Nollywood, was one of the largest in the world, and the per capita GDP in its economic centers was comparable to some developing European nations. "This isn't what I imagined," Ali frowned, continuing to read. He discovered that Nigeria was a hub of innovation and enterprise, with a vibrant, youthful population driving growth. He had expected to see data on an underdeveloped country, but the information pointed to a complex, rapidly modernizing society. Still, Ali was skeptical. Information on the internet, who knows if it's true? I'll believe it when I see it with my own eyes. After a 6-hour flight, the plane landed at Murtala Muhammad International Airport in Lagos. The moment Ali stepped out of the cabin, his first thought was, wow, the air conditioning is incredibly comfortable. Though the Middle East is wealthy, many public facilities can be inconsistent. Ali hadn't expected the climate control system in a major African airport to be so perfectly calibrated, not too cold, not too hot. The airport itself was clean, well-organized, with clear signs and smooth passenger flow, far more modern than he had imagined. After collecting their luggage, Ali and his team walked out of the arrivals hall. Mr. Adebayo was already waiting outside. "Mr. Ali, welcome to Nigeria," he said, extending his hand with a bright smile. Ali glanced at the simply dressed Nigerian farmer, thinking, he doesn't look like anything special. But the subsequent car journey began to shake Ali's convictions. On the road from Lagos to Oyo State, he saw well-paved highways, modern buildings, and bustling cityscapes. Though the signs along the road were in English, the storefronts and product displays were no less sophisticated than those in Dubai's commercial districts. What surprised him even more was the sheer number of cars on the road, most of them relatively new models, not at all the scene he expected from a backward region. "Mr. Ali, what time is it back home? Are you adjusting to the time difference?" Mr. Adebayo asked, making conversation as he drove. "It's fine, only a 3-hour difference," Ali said, looking out the window. "Your cities seem quite developed." Mr. Adebayo laughed. "They're all right. But Oyo is considered a more rural area. When we get to the farm, you'll see it's a very traditional farming community." The words were spoken with humility, but Ali was already starting to have doubts. If even the so-called rural areas had this level of infrastructure, then the conditions at the farm couldn't be too bad, could they? He had anticipated dirt roads, shabby huts, and outdated equipment. Now, it seemed he might have to recalibrate his expectations. After about an hour's drive, the car gradually left the city and entered more rural regions. But even the country roads were well maintained, and the farmlands on either side were neatly organized, with no sense of disarray. Ali noticed many modern-looking greenhouses and agricultural structures, some even equipped with automated devices. "We're here," Mr. Adebayo said, parking the car at the entrance to the orchard. "Welcome to our family's mango farm." Ali got out of the car and froze. The traditional orchard he had imagined, with trees growing randomly, overgrown with weeds, and laborers strenuously picking fruit, was nowhere to be seen. Before him was a farm that looked more like a meticulously designed agricultural park. Each mango tree was planted at a uniform distance from the next, the ground beneath them covered with anti-weed fabric. So neat, it looked as if it had been measured with a ruler. The trees were pruned to a similar height to facilitate harvesting. What stunned Ali even more was that the orchard had an automated drip irrigation system, with pipes precisely distributed to the base of every tree. Is this really an orchard?" Ali couldn't help but ask. "It looks more like a technology park." Mr. Adebayo laughed heartily. "This is what modern agriculture is all about. Did you think we still use the old methods to farm? Come, I'll show you our control system. Walking into the farm's office, Ali saw a wall of surveillance monitors displaying real-time images of different sections of the orchard. Next to them, a computer was running software that recorded daily temperature, humidity, and sunlight hours. This is our smart agriculture management system, Mr. Adebayo explained, pointing to the screen. We can monitor the condition of each plot in real time, including soil moisture, nutrient content, and pest alerts. We don't grow mangoes based on experience or feeling anymore. We manage them with scientific data. Ali's assistant quickly raised his camera to take pictures, but Ali himself was lost in thought. He had seen large, modern farms in the Middle East, but those were all operated by large, well-funded corporations. This seemingly ordinary Nigerian farmer was also using such advanced technology to manage his orchard. Let's go. I'll show you the mango trees, Mr. Adebayo said, leading Ali deeper into the orchard. As they walked, he explained, we cultivate a special variety, the Adebayo Supreme. It's a cultivar developed from the classic Nigerian sherry mango, which has been refined by our family over decades to produce a unique flavor profile. Decades? Ali was a bit surprised. My grandfather's generation started it, Mr. Adebayo said with a tone of pride. My father's generation began researching how to improve the quality. Now that I've taken over, I've invested even more resources in technological management. Did you know? It takes at least 3 to 4 years for a mango tree to bear fruit after being planted. And to grow the highest quality mangoes requires not just time, but technology, experience, and an understanding of this land. Ali walked up to a mango tree and observed the fruit carefully. Each mango on the tree was covered with a paper bag hanging neatly from the branches. He casually touched one and could clearly feel that the texture of the paper bag was quite good, not cheap, thin paper, but a material with a certain thickness and water-repellent properties. Why the bags? Ali asked curiously. This is to protect the fruit from pests and diseases, and also to prevent direct sunlight from causing sunburn, Mr. Adebayo explained. And look, this isn't just any paper. It's a specialized fruit bag that is breathable, waterproof, and provides shade. The timing of bagging is also crucial. Too early, and it affects the fruit's growth. Too late, and it loses its protective effect. It must be done when the fruit has grown to a specific size. The more Ali heard, the more incredible it seemed. In his mind, mangoes were just grown and picked when they were ripe. Who knew there was so much science to it? But this Nigerian farmer in front of him was talking about growing mangoes as if it were a precision engineering project. Do you have to treat every single mango like this? Ali asked. Of course, Mr. Adebayo said, as if it were the most natural thing in the world. Otherwise, how can we guarantee that the quality of every mango is consistently good? Our mangoes are for export. If the quality is unstable, who would buy from us? This sentence struck a chord with Ali. That's right. If the quality is unstable, no one is willing to pay a high price. He suddenly thought of the cheap Indian and Thai mangoes in the Middle Eastern market. Although the price was low, the quality was indeed inconsistent. Sometimes they were sweet and delicious, other times sour and astringent. It was all a matter of luck. Come, let me have you try our mango, Mr. Adebayo said, picking a ripe mango from a tree and peeling it on the spot. The moment the knife cut through the skin, a rich, intense aroma filled the air. Ali had never smelled a mango so fragrant. It wasn't just a simple sweet scent. It was a complex bouquet of floral notes, honey, and an indescribable, unique fruit perfume. Just the smell alone made his mouth water. Mr. Adebayo skillfully cut a slice of the flesh and handed it to Ali. Here, try it while it's fresh. Ali took the golden yellow slice. In the sunlight, it looked translucent and radiant, as if it were glowing. He hesitated for a moment, still wondering if this was a specially prepared one just for him, and that perhaps the ones they usually sell were not of this quality. But seeing Mr. Adebayo's relaxed demeanor, he decided to take a bite. With that one bite, Ali stood frozen on the spot. The texture, the sweetness, the aroma, it completely surpassed his imagination. The flesh melted in his mouth, as smooth and delicate as ice cream, completely free of the coarse fibrousness of other mangoes. The sweetness was incredibly high, But it wasn't a cloying sweetness. It was a layered, fragrant sweetness with a hint of tartness at the end to balance it, making the entire flavor profile three-dimensional and rich. Even more magically, as he bit down, the juice exploded in his mouth. The juiciness was like drinking mango nectar, yet it didn't drip everywhere. The texture of the flesh perfectly locked in the moisture. And the aroma. The fragrance that filled his mouth made him feel as if he wasn't eating a fruit, but savoring a top-tier dessert. Ali closed his eyes, chewing slowly, savoring every change of flavor in his mouth. He had eaten thousands of mangoes in his life, the Alfonso from India, the Namdok Mai from Thailand, the Carabao from the Philippines, the Sindri from Pakistan. Each was a famous variety. But at this moment, the Nigerian Adebayo Supreme Mango in his mouth surpassed them all. "How is it, mister?" Adebayo asked with a smile, though his expression showed he was completely confident in the quality of his mangoes. Ali opened his eyes, his expression shifting from initial doubt to shock, then to disbelief, and finally settling on a complex emotion. His assistant, standing by, captured this entire sequence of expressions with his camera. Later, these photos were posted on social media, and his transformation from skeptic to admirer became the hottest topic in the entire Middle Eastern business community. Is this really a mango?" Ali finally spoke, his voice trembling slightly. "I've never eaten a mango this delicious in my life. This is the Rolls-Royce of fruits. We Nigerians have a saying, 'Good things are not cheap, and cheap things are not good,'" Mr. Adebayo replied. "Now you know why we sell at this price, don't you?" Ali didn't speak. Instead, he reached out, took another piece of mango, and put it in his mouth. He needed to confirm once more if that taste was real, or if his senses were playing tricks on him. The second bite confirmed the experience. Now that he was prepared, he could appreciate the nuanced layers even more. How do you do it?" Ali finally admitted defeat. "They're all mangoes. Why is there such a huge difference?" "Mister," Adebayo smiled, "that's a long story. Come, let's sit under the shade of the tree, and I'll tell you everything." The two walked to a resting area in the orchard, where there were a few wooden benches and a small pavilion for shade. "Mister?" Adebayo took out 2 bottles of cool mineral water, handed one to Ali, and then began to tell the story of the Nigerian mango. "First, the soil," Mr. Adebayo began. "Our soil here in Oyo State, after years of improvement and cultivation, has become perfectly suited for growing mangoes. The soil's pH, organic matter content, and the ratio of trace elements all have to be controlled within the optimal range. Every year, we conduct soil tests and adjust our fertilizer formula based on the results." "You have to formulate your fertilizer?" Ali asked. "Of course," Mr. Adebayo said matter-of-factly. "Different growth stages require different nutrients. Sprouting needs nitrogen, flowering needs phosphorus, and fruiting needs potassium. The ratio is different for each stage. And we only use organic fertilizers, not chemical ones. Naturally, the cost is higher and the growth is slower, but the flavor of the mangoes is completely different." Ali nodded, beginning to understand why the Nigerian mangoes were so expensive. The cost of fertilization alone was several times higher than that of an average fruit farmer. But Mr. Adebayo wasn't finished. "Next is water management," he continued. "Mangoes are a peculiar fruit. They don't like too much water, but they can't be too dry either. We've installed a smart irrigation system that automatically adjusts the water supply based on soil moisture, and the way we water is different at different growth stages. For example, during flowering, we control the water to create a little stress, which improves the quality of the flowers. But during fruiting, we need to provide ample water so the fruit will be plump." "There's such a thing?" Ali said in amazement. "I thought you just had to water them regularly." "Haha, if only it were that simple," Mr. Adebayo laughed. "The most difficult part of growing mangoes is actually controlling the temperature and sunlight. Our climate here in Oyo is naturally good, plenty of sun, but not too hot, with a moderate temperature range that's perfect for mangoes. But even so, we still adjust our management practices based on the weather forecast. For example, if it's going to rain, we need to prepare for drainage in advance. If the weather is too hot, we increase watering. If the sunlight is too strong, we even have to consider providing shade for the fruit. Ali's eyes widened. He had thought that growing fruit was as simple as burying a seed in the ground and waiting for it to grow. He never knew there were so many intricacies involved. From soil, fertilization, and watering to temperature and sunlight, every aspect required meticulous management and adjustments according to different growth stages. This was basically precision engineering. However, the real key is not this, Mr. Adebayo lowered his voice, revealing the core secret. It's our fruit thinning. Ali was confused. Fruit thinning? It means we manually remove some of the fruit, Mr. Adebayo explained. A mango tree might set hundreds of fruits, but if we let them all grow, the nutrients would be dispersed and the quality would be poor. So, we have to manually select and remove inferior fruits, those in poor positions, or those of inconsistent size, keeping only the best. Typically, a branch that sets 300 fruits, we only keep 50 to 80. Ali was aghast. You throw away more than 2/3 of the fruit? Isn't that a waste? Mr. Adebayo's expression turned serious. It's not a waste, it's an investment. We would rather reduce our yield to ensure that every single mango is of top quality. Imagine, if one branch has to nourish 300 fruits, the nutrients are spread thin, and the quality of each fruit is average. But if we only leave 50, the nutrients are concentrated, and the fruits become large, fragrant, and sweet. This is the essence of Nigerian precision agriculture. Quality over quantity. Hearing this, Ali fell into deep thought. He suddenly realized that the high price of Nigerian mangoes wasn't a marketing gimmick, but a true reflection of cost and quality. From soil maintenance, fertilization, and irrigation to fruit thinning, bagging, harvesting, and packaging, every step required immense manpower and resources. How could the mangoes produced this way be compared to mass-produced, cheap fruits? Mr. Adebayo then emphasized the art of harvesting. The fruits don't all ripen at the same time, so they must be picked in batches. The timing is critical. Too early, and the sweetness is insufficient. Too late, and they rot easily. It all depends on experience to judge the best time for picking. How do you judge? Ali asked. By observing the color, feeling the firmness, and smelling the aroma, Mr. Adebayo replied. An experienced worker can tell its ripeness with a single glance. All harvesting is done by hand to avoid mechanical damage. Each mango must be handled gently, preventing collisions and pressure to maintain its perfect shape and quality. Ali watched as workers in the orchard hand-picked the fruit. Their movements were gentle and skillful. After picking a batch, they would carefully place them into special baskets lined with soft padding to prevent the fruits from bumping against each other. After picking, the mangoes had to go through washing, grading, and packaging. The two men then headed to the packing facility next to the orchard. Upon entering, Ali was amazed by the equipment inside. The entire facility was air-conditioned, maintaining a temperature of around 15 degrees Celsius. The environment was cool and clean, with the floor and walls tiled in white, as orderly as a hospital or a laboratory. Mr. Adebayo explained, "This place fully complies with food safety standards. All employees wear work uniforms, masks, and disinfect their hands to prevent contamination." On the production line, the mangoes were first washed and then sent into a grading machine. This machine used optical sensors to scan each mango, automatically sorting them by size, weight, color, and blemishes. This machine was imported from Germany and is worth millions, Mr. Adebayo said. It ensures that our grading standards are uniform. The mangoes are divided into premium and grade A. The ones exported to the Middle East are all premium grade, only those with perfect appearance, target weight, and sufficient sweetness are selected. Ali looked at the boxes of graded mangoes. Each one was like a work of art uniform in size, color, and shape, without any flaws. He picked one up to examine it closely. The skin had no scratches, the shape was full, and it felt firm in his hand. Mr. Adebayo pointed to the boxes. These are the export-grade premium mangoes. See how nearly identical each one is? When a customer receives a box, they feel they've gotten their money's worth. If the sizes and quality are inconsistent, no one would be interested, even if the price was low. Next was the packaging process. Each mango was first wrapped in a shock-proof net and then placed in a special cardboard box containing ice packs and desiccants to control temperature and humidity. Exported mangoes are kept in a cold chain from harvest to the customer's hands to preserve freshness, he explained. The journey from the farm to the airport was in a refrigerated truck, air freight was in a refrigerated hold, and upon arrival at the destination, they were transported by refrigerated truck to the warehouse. The entire process was controlled at 5 to 10 degrees Celsius to preserve the mango's freshness. Ali couldn't help but ask, "The cost must be very high." Mr. Adebayo admitted frankly, "It is high. But to deliver the best quality to our customers, it must be done this way. We can't let our customers pay a high price for an inferior product. That would ruin our reputation." That word struck Ali again. Brand. Mr. Adebayo was emphasizing brand. The cheap fruits in the Middle East had no brand to speak of. Consumers were just taking a chance. But the Nigerian mango was different. Its brand was a guarantee of quality, and that was the basis for its high price. Mr. Adebayo said solemnly, "Mr. Ali, we have a saying in Nigeria, do it well or not at all. We farmers may seem simple, but we are uncompromising when it comes to quality. Our business is built on integrity. We would rather make less profit than compromise on quality, to ensure that every mango we sell is a masterpiece." Ali was deeply moved. He had done business in the Middle East for many years and had seen countless merchants prioritizing profit, cutting corners, and passing off inferior goods as premium. But this Nigerian farmer put quality first. This attitude earned his respect. Ali took a deep breath. "I understand now. Please forgive my earlier attitude. I thought you were price gouging, but now I see your pricing is actually reasonable. For this quality, it could even be considered a bargain." Mr. Adebayo smiled. "No need to apologize. I understand your perspective. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, who would believe a single mango could be worth so much? Now that you've seen it, what are your thoughts?" Ali said decisively, "I want to place an order. A large one. Whatever you can supply, I'll take." Mr. Adebayo shook his head and laughed. "I'm afraid that's not possible. Our production is limited, and we already have regular customers. If you want to order, I can provide a certain quota, but I can't offer an unlimited supply. To be honest, even if we wanted to increase production, it would be difficult because our precision agriculture model inherently limits output." This only further convinced Ali of the value of the Nigerian mangoes. True gems are never available in large quantities. If Mr. Adebayo had claimed he could supply an unlimited amount, it would have seemed suspicious. Ali immediately asked, "How can I place an order? I'd like to start with a test batch to see the market's reaction." As business discussions wrapped up, evening was approaching. Mr. Adebayo warmly invited Ali to have dinner with him. "You've come all this way. It would be a shame not to try our local food. Let me treat you to some of Nigeria's special street food." Ali initially wanted to decline, but he couldn't refuse the host's hospitality, so he agreed. Mr. Adebayo drove them to a bustling market area in Ibadan, and Ali experienced Nigerian street food culture for the first time. The moment he stepped into the market, he was in disbelief. The street was packed with people, lined with countless food stalls. The air was filled with a complex and enticing aroma of grilled meats and spices, a unique atmosphere. Mr. Adebayo led Ali to try various Nigerian delicacies: suya, boli, roasted plantain, akara, and jollof rice. Each one amazed Ali. He never imagined that street food could be so delicious yet so affordable. A serving of suya cost only a few hundred naira, almost negligible when converted to Emirati dirhams. As he ate, Ali marveled. Nigeria is truly a unique place. You have world-class, high-end products like your mangoes, and at the same time, you have delicious and affordable street food for the common people. The contrast is fascinating. That night, Ali not only tasted Nigerian food, but also gained a deeper sense of Nigerian culture. He discovered a particular trait in the Nigerian people. Whatever they do it with passion and a pursuit of perfection. This spirit was not just evident in agriculture, but permeated all aspects of daily life. The next day, Ali and his team visited more Nigerian farms and orchards, each one opening his eyes wider. He saw that Nigeria's agriculture was indeed very advanced. Not just mangoes, but pineapples, cashews, and other fruits were also cultivated with similar precision methods. Moreover, Nigeria had developed many unique local varieties, like the Ogbomosho mango and the Julie mango, which were not found in other countries. On the flight back to Dubai, Ali replayed the experiences of his trip. He took out his phone and composed a social media post, uploading the photo of himself biting into the mango with a long caption. "My friends, I must admit I was wrong. I originally thought the Nigerian mango was ridiculously overpriced. After visiting in person, I realized that the price is not only reasonable, but an absolute bargain. Their agricultural technology and attention to detail have completely overturned my understanding. The mango I tasted there was the best I've ever had in my life, bar none. If you ever get the chance, you must try Nigerian fruit. The quality is absolutely world-class." The post immediately went viral in the Middle Eastern business community. Everyone knew how picky Ali was. If even he was praising this mango, it must be something special. Businessmen flooded his comments, asking for purchasing channels. More dramatically, the photo of Ali in the orchard was turned into a meme by netizens. His expression, shifting from skepticism to sheer bliss, was paired with witty captions and became the hottest topic on Middle Eastern media. When you think you're being ripped off but discover you've found a treasure. The power of the Nigerian mango. Even a Dubai tycoon is conquered. These memes spread throughout the Arab world, inadvertently becoming the best advertisement for Nigerian mangoes. Back in Dubai, Ali's first shipment of Nigerian mangoes was sold out almost instantly. Customers who were initially skeptical of the price became loyal fans after tasting them. They not only bought for themselves, but also recommended them to friends and family. Ali's shop even had lines of people waiting to buy them. Some customers would pre-order days in advance just to get their hands on the mangoes. One old customer told him, "Ali, you found a real treasure. I've eaten fruit my whole life and never tasted a mango so delicious. At this price, I think it's worth it." Another chimed in, "Yes. I complained about the price at first, but after tasting it, I don't think it's expensive at all. In fact, those cheap mangoes now seem unbuyable. Once you've had the Nigerian mango, nothing else compares." This word-of-mouth effect continued to spread, rapidly making Nigerian mangoes famous in the Middle Eastern market. More and more importers began contacting Nigerian farmers to represent their fruit. Ali had become one of the key pioneers for Nigerian fruit in the Middle East. Later, Mr. Adebayo and Ali became good friends. During a phone call, Mr. Adebayo thanked Ali for helping to open up the Middle Eastern market. "Honestly, if it weren't for your photos and that post, it would have taken us much longer to enter the Middle East." Ali laughed and replied, "It was the right thing to do. I was just sharing my honest experience. And frankly, your mangoes deserve to be known by the world." The story eventually spread in Nigeria as well, and several media outlets interviewed Mr. Adebayo, asking him how he managed to win over a wealthy Middle Eastern tycoon. Mr. Adebayo always said humbly, "I didn't do anything special. I just did what should be done properly. All Nigerian farmers are like this. Our insistence on quality is in our bones." But behind this story was the reflection of the entire Nigerian agricultural system's upgrade and transformation. From traditional mass production to precision agriculture, from low-price competition to brand management, from short-term gains to long-term quality. This transformation was not achieved overnight, but was the result of decades of accumulation. Today, Nigerian fruit has established a unique position in the international market. Although its price is higher than that of other origins, its excellent quality has made it highly sought after in high-end markets. More and more international markets, including Japan, Singapore, and the Middle East, have recognized the value of Nigerian fruit. That photo of Ali is now collected in an agricultural exhibition hall in Abuja, becoming the best testament to the success of Nigeria's precision agriculture. Whenever foreign guests visit, the tour guide tells this story. This wealthy man from the Middle East originally came with doubts, but in the end, became our most loyal supporter. This tells us that true quality is not afraid of being questioned. If you have enough confidence and a guarantee of quality, even if others are initially skeptical, once they experience it for themselves, they will naturally be convinced. The Nigerian mango did just that. It spoke with its strength and conquered discerning palates with its quality, letting the world know that although Nigeria is a developing nation, its agricultural technology and product quality are truly world-class.